presented by 5 Hour Energy. At the Birdcage here in Maryland, the Iowa Hawkeyes paying a visit in a Big Ten tilt. And in a bit of a twist, the Hawkeyes have won 6 of their last 7 on the road. The Terps have dropped 5 of their last 6 at home. Today's big storylines, where the Hawkeyes are in first in the West with a very favorable schedule the rest of the way, Joey.
Yeah, and there's 2 teams in the West that control their own destiny. The other one's Minnesota. November 8th, Iowa travels to Minnesota for a huge matchup.
C.J. Brown is the dual threat quarterback, 4,000 yards passing, 1,000 yards rushing over the course of his career.
Yeah, and the key for Maryland is keep C.J. Brown healthy, keep the rush off of him, let him make plays.
And then size and speed is the story of this one. You've got Brandon Sheriff, the All-American tackle, the muscle of Iowa, against the speedy Stephon Diggs, who is back to receive the opening kick. Also one of the top wide receiver threats in the Big Ten Conference. Marshall Kane is set to kick it off. Diggs is the all-time leader here at Maryland in kick return yardage. And he is presently #1 in the conference. Diggs, that one will be over his head and out of the back of the end zone. As we get set to go, the Maryland offense will be out there first. As we welcome you to Byrd Stadium here in College Park, I'm Beth Mullins along with Joey Galloway. Paul Carcaterra is with us as well. Different styles today. You've got the old school muscle of the Big Ten for Iowa and the speed and the playmakers today for Maryland.
Yeah, and probably the best thing Iowa can do to slow down this Maryland offense is keep their offense on the field with their running game. Tough running game between the tackles, downhill, big running backs, and that way the playmakers from Maryland don't have a chance to put these points on the board.
And an interception for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Ball pops out at the tail end of the play. But it's been a bugaboo for the quarterbacks at Maryland. And right away on the road, the Hawkeyes get the turnover. As C.J. Brown is picked off for the 5th time this year. It was Drew Ott, the defensive end, who dropped back into coverage.
And we talked about keeping this Maryland offense on the sideline. That's another way to do it. Just create these turnovers. Early, big play for this Iowa defense on the road, putting their offense in a perfect position to put points on the board early.
Weissman is the lone setback. Mark is the senior out of Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Rudock, the play-action rollout, will drop it off to one of his tight ends, Jake Doozy, to the 20-yard line and a first down. Well, Jake Rudock returned from injury last week to solidify his job as the starting quarterback as he helped the Hawkeyes put up a season-high 45 points in their win against Indiana. That included a 72-yard touchdown pass, Iowa's longest scoring play of the year. And it's Weissman again at tailback. For an Iowa offense that has been running the ball much better during Big Ten play. They'll try and go with Weissman bowling off that right side for a yard. Andre Monroe with the stop. He's up front in this 3-4 defense for Maryland.
Yeah, and they better get used to stopping this play. That is the play when you see Weissman in the game, the big running back. When he's there, it's going to be between tackles, usually off to the right side. And that's the play. If you're Maryland, if we slow down this play, this particular play, if we can stop it, force them to do something else, we'll have a chance to make them go to their second or third option.
Second and 8. Out of the backfield, this is Damon Bullock with the catch. The stiff arm to get inside the 15 and run out of bounds at the 11-yard line by L.A. Goree, one of their inside linebackers, a pickup of 8.
And linebackers are positioned for Maryland defensively. They need to be more athletic. They need to be more active, you know, in the running game and especially in the passing game. You could see that Goree was a little late getting to the flat. That's a place where they have to get there because Iowa's going to do play-action passes, leaking the tight ends into the flat. It's going to be key to see if the linebackers can get out there and slow them down.
He is about an inch or so short, so 3rd and 1. Weissman and the fullback John Kenny in there together. Weissman, big hole as he lowers the shoulder inside the 5. Anthony Nixon with the stop at the 4.
It's just good blocking by the offensive line. Look at the movement up front. You can see this big offensive line, Denal, Blythe. These guys are just blowing the defensive line off the line of scrimmage for a 3rd and 1, and that's right up Weissman's alley. I mean, straight downhill, give him the ball. He's just going to hit anything in his path.
Tommy Gall, by the way, is getting the start at center today. Austin Blythe has moved over to right guard to replace Jordan Walsh. Here's Weissman with room and a touchdown. The turnover leads to 6 quick points for Iowa. Mark Weissman's 25th career touchdown. He has now tied Liddell Betts for 3rd all-time in Hawkeye history. Iowa gets the interception from Drew Ott, and then on the ground with Mark Weissman for the quick score. On the kickoff, once again, over the head of Stefan Diggs, so Maryland will get it out at the 25. Their first possession, a turnover, and then a quick score for Weissman.
And watch the linebacker playing. We talked about this on the first drive, how key it is for Maryland and these linebackers to be athletic and make plays. Both guys get picked off. Weissman, easy run into the end zone. Offensive line for Maryland is going to get down. Iowa's going to get downfield. The linebackers for Maryland have to step up in these gaps, or it's going to be a long day.
1st and 10 Terps from their own 25. C.J. Brown. Zone read will keep it himself. Picks up a few. Josie Jewell with the tackle. C.J. Brown leads the Terps in rushing and passing. The goal every Saturday would be to get to 200 through the air and 100 on the ground. But he has been oft injured over the course of his career, now in his 6th season. Coming back from a left wrist sprain. And he will have a splint on that left arm to try and help him out today. To the air, the first pass caught by Diggs, sheds a couple of tacklers. The junior from Gaithersburg, Maryland, a deep threat. Helmet comes off, so he will have to come off the field for a play unless they wanted to burn a timeout. Probably too early for that.
You see Diggs is out wide on this play. He usually plays in the slot. They're going to move him around a little bit, get him out wide, give him a chance to deal with just the corner. When you're in the slot, you have to realize where the linebacker, the safety, and the corner is. When you're out wide, you just have to deal with the corner, which he can handle.
They want to see if they can get him lined up with those linebackers or safeties as opposed to the corners. They want to win the perimeter with run plays like this today, according to offensive coordinator Mike Loxley. And that's Brandon Ross, the junior from Newark, Delaware, picking up 9.
We talked to Diggs yesterday, talked about the receivers becoming more complete blockers. And when you can do this, when you can block and run routes and catch the ball, this makes you more complete. You can see these guys holding blocks out there. Pretty impressive, allowing the running back to spring this run.
Out of the gun. Off the fake, takes a hit as he throws downfield for Leak, who dropped it at the 7. His quarterback took a big hit and laid it right on the hands of Marcus Leak, who couldn't bring it in.
And of course, this is a play that just has to be made. When you look at these receivers collectively, including Leak, Long, and Diggs, I mean, those guys are probably the best 3 collectively in the country. They have to make these plays. C.J. Brown stood in the pocket, took the big hit from Ott and Meyer, gets one out, puts it on the money. That's a play that has to be made.
Brown feeling the heat, and down he goes. Drew Ott, who had the interception earlier, now gets the takedown. Defensive coordinator Phil Parker says this is the strength of this defense. Those 4 guys up front making their presence felt early here.
Yeah, and they added the 5th in this situation. They brought the blitz off the top of the screen. If you can't cover back in the secondary, we talked about these receivers, you have to get after C.J. Brown. Do not let him get the ball out. We just saw the throw on second down on the money. When you let him get it out, he's pretty good. That time they bring the pressure, get him on his back.
For his punt. And back deep is McCarron. He'll let that go over his head, and it will bound into the end zone. 47 yards on the punt, but it'll come back out to the 25 for Iowa. Homecoming weekend here in College Park, but the visitors are up early. And welcome back to college football here on ESPN, presented by 5 Hour Energy. Mark Weissman with a 4-yard touchdown run off of an interception by Drew Ott, and the early lead for the visitors. They'll start out with it on their own 20. And Damon Bullock, who's been out the last couple of games, limited carries, is back out there to run it. We'll see a host of different guys in the backfield, and Bullock is wide open at the 40. And he will take it deep into Maryland territory, finally wrapped up inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. 53 yards to Bullock out of the backfield.
Just a mix-up in coverage, and again, it's the linebackers that are supposed to cover the back out of the backfield. We've seen this is the 3rd time today where the linebackers were a little slow getting to where they're supposed to be, and that time there's just a mix-up between Goree and Ferrand. They're all going to the same side. Following the tight ends, somebody has to cover the back. They just made a mistake in coverage.
Jordan Canzeri now in at tailback. He'll take it off the left side, following the lead of Brandon Sheriff. Another big gainer, and he's got a first down inside the 15. Down to the field now, Paul Carcaterra.
Well, Beth, after last week when Jake Rudock led Iowa to 38 first-half points against Indiana, the quarterback debate seemed over. However, expect a healthy dose of C.J. Beathard today. Both quarterbacks know the batting order. It's not a case of Rudock looking over his shoulder, but offensive coordinator Greg Davis told me Beathard adds a run element to the offense, and with Rudock's injuries in the past, he deserves to play and he has to be ready.
They'll try Canzeri again. Hit by Ferrand at the 10. The senior from Green Pond, New Jersey. Well, we had Iowa earlier. We saw C.J. Beathard for a series or two. He came on to replace Rudock and led them to the win against Pittsburgh with a nice second-half comeback. But
when we did have them, both guys played well.
Yep.
When Beathard came off the sideline, he played well, and then they brought Rudock back in. And the concern is, can he stay hot after coming to the bench and going back? And he did. He played well.
Now and Tavon Smith to the near side. They will run it with Canzeri inside the 10. Bullock with the run up the middle, and down he goes. No gain. Well read there by Yannick Ngakoue. It's 4th down and 5. It has been a suspect kicking game this year for Iowa. They have, on more than one occasion, gone for it on 4th down. In fact, Mark Weissman himself is 6 for 6 on 4th downs. They're usually not this far, though.
Beth, when you're really suspect when you're at your 10-yard line and you don't kick it on a 4th and 5. They must not have any kicker at all right now and zero confidence in this.
Rudock looking for Bullock with the catch down to the 2-yard line, and it's a first down for the Hawkeyes. Down to Kirk.
What appeared, Beth, to be a knee injury. Jordan Canzeri, Russ Haynes, and the medical staff at Iowa examining his left ankle. His shoe is off right now. It looks like they're going to retape him. If something changes on his status, I'll let you know.
Thank you, Paul. A couple of nice catches out of the backfield for Bullock.
Yeah, and Iowa's doing a really nice job of isolating the linebackers in coverage from Maryland and seeing if they can get wide and cover these guys in the flats, and they're not doing a good job so far.
On the boot, touchdown, Henry Krager Coble. 4th down gamble pays off for Kirk Ferentz. 7 plays. 5. Kane's extra point is good. The big play, a 52-yard reception for Bullock, a career long. And they finish it off to the tight end, Krager Coble, and a 2-touchdown lead. The turnover led to the quick score for Iowa, and then an impressive 80-yard drive as well for the Hawkeyes. And Maryland, who came into this game with one of the better red zone defenses in the country, is now 0 for 2 on stops inside the 20.
They might not like the kicker for field goals, but he has kicked each one of these kickoffs completely out of the end zone. Plenty of leg there, just no accuracy.
Well, and that's taken Stephon Diggs out of making a big play on special teams, where Maryland was hoping they'd have an advantage today with their return game and their kicking game. C.J. Brown will hand it off to Ross. He runs to the boundary side, picks up a couple out to the 28. So far, strong defense from the Huskies, Joey.
Yeah, we talked about the wide receivers from Maryland. Well, this is one way to slow down these wide receivers. Ott drops back for the interception, then just get pressure on C.J. Brown. Don't allow him to get the ball out, bring the blitz, stay in his face, make him step up in the pocket. Drew Ott with a sack there, an interception early in the game. The D-line has stepped up real early here in this one.
Second and 7. Ross dances to the outside. Ross fighting his way out to the 35, and it looks like the spot will move the chains for Maryland. Louis Trinka-Passat with the stop, and a 7-yard gain for Ross.
Yeah, this Maryland offense, they've got to start moving the chains. You worry about your defense getting worn down. You're undersized on your defensive line, and you keep going versus Iowa, and they're going to run down your throats. You got to give these guys a break, and the way you do that is get first downs on offense.
And Mike Loxley wanted to change the tempo a bit from time to time to try and wear down the Hawkeyes defense. They lined up a little quicker. They give again. This is Jaquil Vay, one of their hybrid guys. Picks up 9. How about and I would imagine the first of many updates on that game. The last 2 times those teams have played, the winner has scored over 70 as they get it to Diggs out in the flat for a short gain. John Loudermilk had the coverage. So far, every play, Joey, trying to get their playmakers out into space.
Yeah, that's the key. That they have to go wide. They've run a sweep pretty well here on this drive. And then that's a throw to Diggs. A nice, easy one. Loudermilk to safety over top. Diggs can negotiate that guy and find a soft spot in that zone.
Play action fake. Brown on the rollout, and he's got another first down. We get into Iowa territory to Kenneth Goins, the fullback.
You see C.J. Brown getting a little more comfortable now, having a chance to get the ball out of his hands around so they can't send the blitz and get the pressure.
Diggs is wide left. Brown will keep. Lots of running room for C.J. Brown inside the 25, thrown down around the 23-yard line by Greg Maben. Another good chunk yardage play for the Terps.
Nice blocking up front, and this is a play again where we talk about they have to get to the edges, and that's where C.J. Brown's good. You fake the handoff, come around, set up on the safety, and that's a guy that C.J. Brown is more athletic than, and he can make him miss.
Diggs is to the bottom of your screen, matched up with Desmond King. On 1st and 10. And run it with Vay. Nice spin to the outside. Jaquil Vay, touchdown Terrapins. Iowa thought they had him in the backfield, and he scooted away. Seven plays, 75 yards, a quick score, and the extra point is good from Brad Craddock. Vay has been in the backfield and at wideout this year. They're playing him in all kinds of different spaces to get him the football so he can make moves like this. C.J. Brown on the phone upstairs. An impressive drive from Maryland. And when you consider the dropped touchdown pass from Marcus Lee, could very easily be a tie ball game. In case you missed that last score from Vay, video of the touchdown is now posted on the SportsCenter app. Available on your mobile devices and tablets whenever you need it. Jonathan Parker is back deep. It will not reach him. Krager Coble, who has a touchdown catch today, is the up man who brings it out across the 45. Good one here in College Park. 14-7. Iowa on the road and in front. And for the Terps, well, a tough way to get things going. The Iowa defense stout. They forced a turnover, scored a couple of quick ones before Maryland could respond. Oh, a gorgeous day here at the University of Maryland, a campus in College Park. 14-7, Iowa on top. It's homecoming weekend for the Terps. And the first meeting between these two as Maryland joins the Big Ten Conference this year. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Ngakwe with the tackle. Linebacker on the outside coming up to make the play.
And that's a linebacker to be on the outside. They want to go right between the tackles. You know, when you bring in Daniels, you know, you expect Iowa to maybe go a little bit wider. He's a little quicker than Kanzeri. He's quicker than Weissman, so that gives him ability to bounce the ball outside. Your outside linebackers in a 3-4 have to contain.
Rudock stays perfect through the air, finds his tight end across the middle again, out to midfield, and Jake Rudock 7 for 7, but Jake Doozy may have coughed it up at the tail end of the play. A flag flies, players have to be separated. There is a player with his helmet off on the field. It's definitely a fumble. The ball is out before Doozy hits the deck. Ngakwe, the linebacker, got him.
And this 15-yard penalty is going to be huge for either team. The ball is on the 45-yard line.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, returning to number 20, removing his helmet in disgust. 15-yard penalty, first down.
The referee, David Whitvote, adding a little extra there at the tail end. It's Anthony Nixon, number 20. He pulled the Iowa player down and then took the helmet off, and he did it right in front of the umpire, James Shaw.
And they go from having the ball on the 45-yard line with a chance already in scoring position, in a position to strike because they have such good athletes from the outside, and now they're backed up, you know, inside the 35-yard line. That is a huge 15-yard penalty, especially when you're behind and you're trying to get something going offensively.
Keenan McCardle is their new wide receiver coach here at Maryland, the 17-year NFL veteran. Brown has a man wide open at the 35. It's Diggs with another touch. His 4th reception of the day as he is hurled down after a 27-yard pickup.
Diggs in the slot. They try to get their hands on him up close. If you let Diggs get a free run, if Bauer, the linebacker, can't get a piece of him, give him a free run on Loudermilk, the safety, Diggs is going to win that battle all day long. You see wide open on the sideline.
Exactly what Mike Loxley, the coordinator, wanted. Diggs on a linebacker at the line of scrimmage. They return to trying to run it up the middle to Wes Brown. Oh, we got a good one going on out there. Oklahoma 11th in the country. K-State number 14. Brown will keep. Brown gets a nice block inside the 20. Shoved out there by Jordan Lomax. And again, a reminder, the coaching staff holding their breath every time C.J. Brown gets hit, because right before the game it was announced that their second quarterback, Caleb Rowe, is out for the season with an ACL injury.
And I was going to say, in those situations, just step out of bounds. If you're Brown, you're on the sideline, understand the situation, just get out of bounds.
Caught in the backfield, and down he goes. Back at the 24, Nate Meyer, the first guy to arrive, along with Reggie Spearman, and a loss of 5.
don't think there's any question from the Maryland sideline. They will kick in this situation. We saw Iowa go for one on a 4th and 5 from the 10. The safe call here, if you got a really good field goal kicker, is you absolutely get these points on the board.
Brad Craddock is one of the best. He's hit 17 in a row, a school record. One of those a 57-yarder against Ohio State. This one closer at 41. Craddock's kick, perfect. He's 12 for 12 on the season, make it 18 in a row for his career, and it's 14-10 Iowa. Iowa right now tied for first place with Minnesota in the West Division in the Big Ten Conference. Trying to fight their way into a Big Ten championship game. The Terps in their first season in the Big Ten Conference, coming over from the ACC. The kick is over the head of Parker. Good news for the Hawkeyes. Jordan Kanziri has returned to the lineup after a leg injury earlier in the game, and he will get the call going to the short side and out across the 25. Picks up a couple. Darius Kilgo with the tackle. Here's Paul.
Well, Beth, spoke to a bunch of Iowa fans, and they came out in bunches to Maryland, an estimated 10,000 of them. Some even drove the 15 hours for the game. Iowa always travels well, but the idea of a new conference game in D.C. area was a big lure. Sightseeing and some football, not a bad combo.
Yeah, I think Big Ten fans are going to love the addition of road trips to Maryland and to Rutgers. You've got New York, Baltimore, D.C., and right now, the Maryland defense is turning up the heat. Darius Kilgo coming right up the middle. Second sack. Andre Monroe also applying some pressure.
Yeah, and that Sheriff getting beat. You can see the movement by the Maryland defensive line. They've come alive here. These past couple drives, they've come alive, got some pressure on Rudock, getting him out of the pocket, set up a 3rd and long situation. This is when guys like Monroe, guys like Bowers can pin their ears back and go after Rudock, put some pressure on him without worrying about the quick-hitting tight ends out of the backfield in the flat.
With Bullock, Maryland read it the whole way.
Pretty safe play call by Iowa. Just hand this ball off, see what you can get. If you break one, you do. If not, we'll just punt this ball away and get back on the field and play defense. This is a chance now for Maryland to get great field position. Should get this ball on the plus side of the 50.
Will it be in the hands of one of the top punt return guys in the country? Will Likely. And he will call the fair catch. Good field position for the Maryland offense at the Iowa 44, just 30 yards on that punt. Memorial Chapel playing the fight song here at the University of Maryland. 14-10 Hawkeyes, but it's the Terps with the momentum and the ball in Iowa territory. C.J. Brown to the air, and the catch is made by Juwan Winfrey, the true freshman from Englewood, New Jersey, and they might be getting some extra yardage at the end of this play. Greg Maben, I think, got a face mask, and he's the man that's slow to get up, one of their starting corners.
Personal foul, grasping a helmet opening. 13 on defense, 15 yards. Automatic first down.
There's Maben.
And as Maben leaves the field, we'll see Fleming coming to the game for Iowa. We'll find out if Maryland will take a shot at him. You know what I mean? If you're Maryland and you have these receivers outside, do you take a shot at Fleming? He's the nickel corner, so it's not like he's a guy that can't play football, but he is fresh to the game. I would go after him.
First and 10, they'll try and get Ross to the edge. Wrapped up out there by the safety, John Loudermilk coming up for run support.
Yeah, nice play by Loudermilk. And if you're the Iowa defense and you start to see the sweep and you just spill this thing wide, you make it go wider, it is the safety's job to come inside out and make this play.
Maryland now 115 yards rushing in this first half. Diggs is wide right, defended by the new guy, Fleming. They will blitz the linebacker. They will look for Diggs against Fleming in the end zone. Broken up, incomplete.
And give Fleming some credit. I just said, you know, if I'm Maryland, I'm taking a shot at him. They bring Diggs over. They run a post. And he may have been there a little early, but that's pretty good coverage by Fleming. He was right on Diggs. Post route, strong throw. A little bit out of the reach, but Fleming stood up there. Pretty good in coverage.
3rd and 8. Diggs slotted right against a linebacker. Bo Bauer. Bauer will instead come on the blitz. They had Brown and they lost him. CJ on the run. Inside the 10, first down, Terrapins. And another flag down.
During the play, personal foul, grasping the face mask. Number 7, defense. Half the distance to the goal line, automatic first down.
And you saw at the end of this play, well, we'll take another look. Meyer had him in the backfield, couldn't hang on to Brown. And I think they will determine that the helmet got yanked off, so it did not come off by any fault of C.J. Brown, so he will not have to come out of the game. It was Sean Draper who pulled the helmet off, but Brown can stay without having to use a timeout or bring in the backup. 1st and goal, Terps looking for the lead. Brown following the motion man Ross, cuts it back down to the 1. Ball is out. And the head linesman determines that the ball was down at the 1-yard line. Nate Meyer with the stop.
I think it's pretty clear that this ball is
The
going to
player
be
is
down.
ruled down. Second out.
I like the play call, get it out wide, get the sweep going. Plenty of blockers in front of Brown. Didn't get a chance to get this into the end zone.
2nd and goal, Maryland. They give up the middle. Brown to the goal line and in. Touchdown, Terps. Brown following the block of Goins, and I think they might have to take another look to see if the ball broke the plane when his knee hit the ground. Instead, they'll go ahead with the extra point from Craddock. Halftime here at Byrd Stadium, 17 unanswered points for the Terps, and they take the 3-point lead into the locker room on this homecoming Saturday. Here's Paul Carcaterra.
Coach, you're moving the ball. C.J. Brown throws an interception. I see you two communicating. What'd you tell him?
Shouldn't have thrown the ball. You know the situation. We're in field goal range. Don't try to make a play. If it's not there, just throw the ball out of bounds. We got a great kicker. Line up and kick 3 and have a 6-point lead at halftime.
Your defense held Iowa scoreless in the 2nd quarter. What's allowed them to settle down?
Well, everybody's doing their job. You know, the first 2 series, we had guys running all over the place. They weren't doing their job. They just had to settle down, and they do their job, and you got a chance to be successful like we did, but it's a long way to go.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Paul. 17-14, Maryland in front now to Adnan Virk, Robert Smith, and Butch Davis with the Dave & Buster's halftime report. Kirk Ferentz did not like the turn that this game took after Iowa jumped out in front 14-0. Maryland coming back to grab the lead. They could have added to it perhaps with a late field goal, but C.J. Brown threw his 2nd interception. And Maryland with the 3-point advantage, but they will boot it away to Iowa to start out this 2nd half. Hawkeyes trying to stay undefeated in the Big Ten for Maryland, looking to get to 2-1. Jonathan Parker is back deep This will take a couple of hops and scoot out of bounds. And the penalty flag flies. This will be good field position coming up for the Hawkeyes.
Free kick out of bounds. The ball will be placed on the 35-yard line.
Out
First
to the
down.
35 for Iowa. Beth Mullins along with Joey Galloway, Paul Carcaterra. Quite a turnaround for Maryland. After falling behind quickly, they bounced back and scored 17 in a row.
They did. Defensively, the defensive line started to get after this Iowa offense, and Rudock putting pressure on him, not letting him stand in the pocket, get the ball out. And then offensively, they have 3 times as many rush yards as Iowa does. That is a winning equation for Maryland. They can continue to have success running the ball like they did in the first half, which you expected their pass game to be what the key was, but they've run it very well in their head.
Rudock, who started out the game 6 for 6, hit on 2 of his 7 passes in the second quarter. The offense sputtered after those 2 early scoring drives. They'll try and get it back on track. Weissman out of the backfield out to the 45-yard line. Looks like he's got enough for a first down. L.A. Goree with the tackle. There is the story for the Iowa offense. Those first 2 drives, one of them with a short field off of the turnover, another one an 80-yard scoring drive. But since then, 20 plays, just 58 yards. Had 1 drive going, but then that was stymied by a penalty. A handoff to the receiver around the end. That's Jonathan Parker, a guy they're trying to turn into their big play man. He had a 60-yard touchdown run against Indiana.
Pretty good start so far. 2 plays, 2 first downs, moving the chains. You talked about those first drives in the first half. When they got moving, they started the game off with a pass play, which you expect Iowa want to run the ball. They come into the second half, start with another pass play, and have success. It throws off the defense of Maryland when you do that. When you give them, the switch up and you get success, then they have to account for your ability to run the ball, and it opens up the run game, which is what you do best.
They've been rushing for nearly 200 yards through their first 2 Big Ten wins. Held well under 100 in that first half. Rudock to the air, incomplete. He still does not have a completion to a wide receiver today. They've been all backs and tight ends.
And I think they made it very clear, talked about it. They wanted to go after the linebackers in coverage from Maryland. On this last play, Weissman goes to the flat. Goree, the linebacker, does a nice job of covering and makes Rudock look downfield. That's not where they were successful at in the first half. You mentioned no receiver has a catch, which lets you know how good they were with the tight ends and the backs. And if Maryland can shut that down, it's going to be tough for the passing game for Iowa to get going.
Rudock had some trouble with the snap, completes it to his tight end, Ray Hamilton at the 40. Picks up a couple. And it's 3rd down and long. We've talked, Joey, in order for them to go for it on 4th down in games past, they've had to be around the 2 or 3 yard mark on 4th.
But they proved earlier in this game they went for it on 4th and 5 on the 10-yard line. So even if they don't gain a yard, they may think go for it again. But the thinking is you don't have to get all 7, just get a couple, and we feel comfortable going for it.
Blitz coming right up the middle. Rudock hit as he fires. It's incomplete. Sean Davis, the junior out of Washington, D.C., their leading tackler this year, brought the heat.
And I really like the play call. I like this play call by Brian Stewart. It's a 3rd and 7, and you want to get your guys involved. You want to bring your safeties down. You want to put pressure on Rudock. Do not give him a chance to stand in the pocket. Make him throw this ball away. Get out of his hands. Really nice play call and nice execution.
Thornbrath with the punt. And that will take a bounce. Iowa will down it inside the 10. Terps with the lead. And the football just underway here in the second half. A spectacular fall day here in College Park. Very good knowledge indeed. That's a good one. Boomer Sooners and K-State. Good news for Maryland as C.J. Brown has returned to the sideline. Stefan Diggs has returned to the game. And the pass is caught by Winfrey out at the 16-yard line, 2nd and short.
And if you're Hills, that's the throw you need right there. You need to get a completion downfield. You had the 3rd down when it is a high ball, but this one's a much better throw, much better catch. That's what you need. Quarterback comes into the game in the second half because of injury. You want to get into a rhythm.
Hills will keep, and the quarterback dashes out across the 25, tackled by Jordan Lomax. First down, Maryland.
Nice play call. They've called a lot of passes since Hills has come into this game. Get back to their original offense. This is what C.J. Brown does. It's the spread option, keep the ball. Nice play by Hills. Nice decision by Hills to keep the ball.
This time the give is to Ross. They are close to 200 yards rushing now on the ground. This is a run game that was ranked number 94 in the country coming in. So Mike Loxley and this group doing a nice job moving the ball on the ground. And utilizing everybody. Their running backs, their receivers, their quarterbacks. And it's movement from Hayward in the backfield. Hills keeps and delivers to Diggs at the 47. 8th catch of the day. 14 yards on that game.
Nice job by Diggs reaching out, snatching this ball. And then the better part is getting 1 foot down in bounds as he's going out of bounds.
Hills takes the snap. They set up the screen for Diggs. Breaks a tackle. Stephon Diggs with a blocker downfield. And Diggs will score. On the receiver screen, and Marcus Leak, who dropped a touchdown pass earlier, gets one for his buddy with a huge block downfield. Dynamic work from Diggs with the yards after catch. Extra point is good, and it's a 10-point Maryland lead with the backup quarterback leading them downfield.
This is just a perfect play call into a blitz. Corner blitz, you got Diggs coming in behind him, and you get downfield at this juncture right here, and if you freeze the tape here, at this stage, they got a blocker for every defender, and then you get downfield here, and you'll see the pick them off, and you let this thing run, and this is just Diggs downfield. You got Leak going down, another receiver getting the block downfield. Perfect play call versus the corner blitz. When you got a playmaker like Diggs, and you know he understands what to do with this ball in his hands, guys downfield blocking, know that he's this kind of player. When you get that kind of block and that kind of play call, you got to get in the end zone.
A season high for Diggs, 9 catches, 130 yards. And the 3rd time for Diggs over 100. Off the bounce, loses the ball, comes right back up to him, and Parker's got the sideline. With the kicker to beat, he gets out close to midfield.
This is nice blocking here. Sometimes when you fumble the football, it throws off the coverage guys. It makes them converge. They come inside, and then Parker has the ability to bounce this outside. Nice blocking downfield.
Knocked out by Will Likely. Can Iowa rediscover its offense? Right now, they are tied for first place with Minnesota in the Big Ten West. But struggling against a new Eastern Conference foe. Eastern Division foe, and Darius Kilgo with the tackle of Kanziri. This is a deep rush defense that has struggled over the course of its last 3 games. Coming back nicely today. They have held Iowa to just 77 yards on the ground. Out of a 2 tight end set, and Kanziri met in the backfield again by Kilgo.
Yeah, they're ready, and Goree was in that tackle also. They're ready for this off-tackle run. This is where Iowa wants to be, is in a 2nd and 4. But give Maryland credit. I mean, they got across the offensive lineman face. The linebacker, Goree, gets in there more guys than Iowa could block, and again, sets up another one of these 3rd downs. This is absolutely, to me, a 2-down territory for the attitude that Iowa's had. You know, whether they get a couple yards or not, I think they'll go for this one on 4th down.
2 for 10 on 3rd down. They need the 41. Rudock. Catch is made by Martin Manley, and the forward progress will get him the 1st down. First catch for Cavante today, the senior out of Pontiac, Michigan.
Is that the first catch for a wide receiver today? They have not, maybe the second, they have not gone outside whatsoever. And they talked about the matchup of Smith at 6'2" versus Likely at 5'7", you know, and they have not tried to go at that at all today. This time they go outside, but that's an area where I expected to see them try to take advantage of the mismatch in size outside.
Action off of Weissman, and Rudock runs out of time. Kilgo coming right up the middle.
Just pressure Rudock. There's only 2 wide receivers out in this route. Both guys were covered, and Kilgo creases the offensive line and gets after Rudock.
Time. Weissman and Kenny in the eye. Weissman, nice cutback by Weissman. Inside the 20 with blockers downfield. Looking for the final few steps. And hauled down at the 3-yard line by Will Likely. 1st and goal, Hawkeyes.
Yeah, and how about the understanding of Weissman of the offense? Maryland's done a pretty nice job of stopping the off-tackle run. This time stretches it out, shows enough patience, lets Sheriff get a block for him, cuts it back. Sheriff picks off Goree, the linebacker, and it's the cutback that you don't expect from Weissman. That's not his game. He's usually a straightforward guy going wherever the hole is called. This time he has nice vision, and then the cutback.
Nice block by his fullback, Kenny. Back to Weissman. 2nd effort and a change of direction. Finds pay dirt.
And again, it's the cutback. Maryland's still doing a pretty nice job at the point of attack at the hole where they want to run. But now these running backs, now the offensive line realizes that, and now they're utilizing the cutback.
Big response from the Hawkeyes after the Diggs touchdown for Maryland. 2nd TD run for Weissman today. Extra point is good. 24-23. And the Hawkeyes finally return to the end zone after scoring on their first drive. They suffered through a bit of an offensive malaise, and Weissman has the cure. In the final minute of this 3rd quarter, and Diggs, can he make another big play? They've been able to keep it out of his hands on the kick returns, and he'll have a chance here out of his own end zone. And gets out to the 20. Whoever survives down in Tallahassee, and a tackle in the backfield, and now the Hawks have a bit of the momentum. Down to Paul.
Well, Beth, you see Perry Hills there, and C.J. Brown, the starter, is back out on the sideline. He's smiling, he's walking around, he's still moving around that neck area. He communicated quite a bit with Perry Hills prior to Perry taking the field, and I saw Randy Etzel put his arm on C.J. Brown's shoulder, and it doesn't look like they're going to take a risk with the senior right now.
Throws incomplete, trying to bounce it to Dion Long.
And I think that's a coverage misread by the quarterback, by the receiver. Running a hitch into a cover 2 defense is a no-no for any offense anywhere in the country. You do not throw a hitch into a cover 2 corner who is rolled up. That's just a mistake waiting to happen. Now you set up a 3rd and long. Again, I would expect Maryland to be safe with this football. You don't want to make a huge mistake inside their own 20.
Run option, the pitch to West Brown. Takes a hit at the 15. John Loudermilk coming up, and a 2-yard gain will send the punter on. Chance here for Maryland to get some good field position. Nathan Renfro kicking from inside the 5, and it's Riley McCarron at his own 45. And McCarron with the fair catch at the 48-yard line for the Hawkeyes. 1st and 10, Iowa scored on their last possession. They used a lot of Mark Weissman. Taken down by L.A. Goree. Who's your player of the year at the midway point, Joey?
Oh my gosh, it is early. I would keep my eye on Dak Prescott.
Yep.
You know, Mississippi State is a team that came in unranked, and they've, you know, we were just having conversations who had the better resume between Ole Miss and Mississippi State, because Ole Miss was in the top 10 and Mississippi State wasn't ranked, and all of a sudden now they're #1 in the country because of the play of Dak Prescott largely.
3 huge wins, top 10 wins for them. Weissman trying to run outside inside the 45, going to be out about a yard shy as we head to the 4th quarter. Maryland Terrapins, their first season in the Big Ten Conference, getting used to the physicality. Homecoming weekend here at Maryland, and the Terps have the lead heading into the 4th quarter, 24-21 over the Iowa Hawkeyes, trying to hand Iowa its first league defeat of the year. C.J. Brown, the starting quarterback, knocked out in the 3rd quarter with an injury. He is back from the locker room, back on the sideline, and back with the helmet on. Likely jumped the route, and it's a pick 6 for the Terps. Iowa loves Damon Bullock on 3rd down. Will Likely knew that as well, watching a lot of tape all week, and he had Bullock, and he saw that one coming all the way. His 2nd pick 6 of the season. This one goes for 45 yards. Terps capitalize on the 3rd Iowa turnover, and they're up 10 again with 12:29 to go. Rudock looking for Bullock, but so was Will Likely. Dances into the end zone. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by 5 Hour Energy. 4th pick of the season for Likely. A couple of them have gone back to the house the other way. Back to a 10-point advantage for Maryland, out to the 25 for Iowa. We have seen a lot of C.J. Beathard in different games this year for Iowa, but it stays with Jake. Still plenty of time for the Hawkeyes, and not much time for the quarterback right there. Thanks, Adnan. Terps almost had another huge play.
I mean, how good have they been up front? I mean, since those first couple drives in the game, their front has been outstanding, making these kind of plays, and again, setting up these 3rd longs. And Iowa's just not been very good on 3rd down, and getting in a 3rd and long situation. They're 3 of 13, and these are the long ones. These are the ones where Rudock standing in the pocket, 4 wide receivers on the field is not Iowa style.
Udock against the three-man rush, has time. This is Bullock, makes one man miss, gets out across the 25, and the punting unit will come back on. Cole Farrand with the tackle. Will Likely, he's got one touchdown today. Can he make one here on special teams? Dylan Kidd will punt. Likely with the fair catch at the 45. 8:37 to go and a 10-point Maryland lead. Trying to hand the Hawkeyes their first league loss of the season. And the Terrapins defense has been making things tough on the Hawkeyes and making some big plays. Oh, they're getting ready for college hoops here at Maryland. They had their Midnight Madness last night. Mark Turgeon and Brenda Freeze getting down and boogieing at midcourt, Joey.
Everybody should not dance. It's just not for everyone.
Well, the men are trying to get back to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 5 years, and the women are the preseason favorites in the conference, their first year in the league. This is Wes Brown, the tailback, given a nice hit on the way before Trinka Passat finally brought him down. They wanted to win the edge. They wanted to win the open spaces today with their speed guys, and so far they've done it, Joey.
They have. They've been better on the run than I even expected them to be. They have found room to make these plays, and now in this fourth quarter, they're back going with the wind. So it doesn't take much more yardage than this to get into field goal range for Craddock. So now it puts Iowa in a much tougher situation, dealing with not just Maryland, but also the wind, giving Maryland an advantage.
They've run for over 200 yards to the air, and the catch made by Editawa, and that'll be good for a first down. 13 yards on that strike from C.J. Brown.
And we talked about all game long, Iowa sending these blitzes and Maryland not dealing with him very well. This is C.J. Brown. He's a veteran quarterback, comes back in this game, sees the blitz coming to his face, and knows exactly what to do with the ball when Bauer comes.
Brown 10 for 19, 90 yards with a couple of interceptions. He's also run for 94 yards. Coming up the middle, tried to drop it over the top to Goins, incomplete. Quentin Alston, the middle backer, was coming at him.
Again, more of the blitz package. Throwing a screen versus a blitz is a really good play call. This one doesn't work out. The defense recognizes it and they has to throw it over the head of the defensive lineman, but that is a nice play call versus a blitzing team. So if you're Maryland, you're up by 2 scores getting late in the game, just expect more and more blitz from Iowa and just know what to do with it.
Route to Diggs, incomplete. Let's see if they manage this a little differently, Joey, than they did at the end of the first half when they threw the interception when they were in field goal range.
Yeah, and if you play in the slot like Diggs does, he knows where that safety is, and he realizes if he catches this ball, Lomax is just about a step away. So Diggs made a decision that at this juncture of the game in the fourth quarter, 7 minutes left, we're up by 10. I'm going to live to fight another day, and I'll let this one go.
Rolling, throwing deep, and it's caught at the 9-yard line. Editawa, first and goal, Maryland.
Just an outstanding play by C.J. Brown. We just talked about the veteran coming in making plays. Watch him here, understanding, let me get out of the pocket, let me extend the play. His mindset, I think, was to run the ball until he got outside and realized, okay, I have a receiver open. Great job keeping his eyes downfield and finding the receiver cutting across field. That's a huge play because it keeps the clock running, number one, but then it puts him in scoring position.
Nice block, too, by Kenneth Goins to keep that play alive for Brown. Give him time to find the receiver off the play action. The rollout, he is nailed by Carl Davis. and bounces right back up. No flag on the play. Maryland will continue. Brown handles the snap and then dives down to the 5.
I'd expect a nice safe play call in this situation. Maybe something where Brown is rolling out, give him a chance to have the run pass option. 3rd and 5. You really want to just get points on the board in this situation. You'd like to have a touchdown, but you also take this field goal. So don't take any chances like they did at the end of the first half. Call something safe and explain to your quarterback in this situation, take care of the football. Let's at least get some points out of this drive.
Diggs goes to the right. Brown looking for his back. Wes Brown down to the 1 and stopped there by Alston. 4th and goal.
And I think I might go for this one here, Beth. I think I would go. You're 4th and 1. I give my quarterback a chance to make a play for me. If you don't get it in this situation, there's 5 minutes left. Iowa has to go 99 yards to get to the end zone. They have to score twice in this game. This is a situation where I take my veteran quarterback and say, the ball is in your hands. Go make a play for us.
All right, so it's still 4th and goal with the offensive unit out there. They'll get quick to the line. It's Wes Brown diving over the top. Touchdown, Maryland. Second touchdown of the year for Wes Brown as they go for it on 4th down at the 1. Craddock for the extra point. Under 5 minutes to go. 38-21 Maryland. They are on a 38-7 run since early in the first quarter.
And I really like the decision to go for this. You hurry up, come to the line of scrimmage, and you can see it gets the defense for Iowa out of place. They don't have a chance to read the strength. They can't find the linebacker. They can't find the tight ends. They don't know where the backs are, so they just have to line up. And you can see that these guys are not in their right places.
(38-21), and now the Hawkeyes really up against it. What a turnaround for the Terps. 6.5 minutes into the game, they were down 14-zip. And they have come back strong.
And now they're in a passing situation. If you're Iowa, and you have got to find a way to protect your quarterback. You've not done a good job, especially versus these linebackers in pass situations. You've got to find a way to protect him.
Damon Powell makes the catch. Skaters out to the 40. Powell had a 72-yard touchdown catch against Indiana last week. The Hawkeyes are at 5-1, 2-0 in the West, and trying to stay tied atop the division. That's the first catch today for Powell. Normal in the flat. Short yardage pickup.
And that's just thinking, getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands. There are linebackers now lined up over your guards. That's Cujo Virgil. He's more athletic than the guard that's across for him, and that's why they're able to get at the quarterback.
There's Minnesota and Iowa. Minnesota, by the way, right now, under 5 minutes to go. They lead Purdue 39-38. Nice turnaround for the Boilermakers under Daryl Hazel the last few weeks. If the Gophers and the Hawkeyes both falter today, it's pretty much anybody's game in that West. Right now, the East appears to be shaping up as they go for it here for short yardage and get the first down. But the East seems to be steamrolling, Joey, towards that Ohio State-Michigan State game coming up in several weeks' time.
And I think at the beginning of the season, if anybody would ask what the East was going to come down to, everyone would have pointed to that game, and it's going in that direction.
Rudolph off the punt and throws that one away.
Is that Edsel on the catch? Oh.
Andy Edsel with his first reception of the day.
Stretched out for it, too.
He's a former quarterback. He knows how to read that QB. Wow, way upstairs, climbing the ladder. You make a catch like that, you ought to give him back the timeout.
Is that Sports Center top 10?
That is top 10 moment right there.
Better hands than Joey Galloway.
I won't comment on that.
Powell couldn't hang on. The big matchup of the night coming up in Tallahassee. The unbeaten Fighting Irish and the unbeaten Seminoles going toe-to-toe. I think that's the second top 5 tussle of the season. Comes your way tonight on ABC at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Golson and Winston. Who's into the college football playoff? Both those teams right around the top 4. We're just a couple of weeks away now from the unveiling of that first top 25 from the playoff selection committee. On third down, Rudock down the middle, caught by Smith at the 30. First down.
The last time we had Iowa versus Ball State, same situation, got in the second half and needed to make some plays and found a way to move the ball downfield. This is a little tougher situation, being down by 17 in the fourth, but we do know that Iowa can move the ball late in the game in these situations.
That was 2 touchdowns in 2 minutes to beat Ball State. And now they've got it first and goal inside the 5. Kittle with the catch.
You see Rudock now is having a chance to stand in the pocket and look downfield. Same thing happened last time. Once you give him a chance to survey your defensive secondary with nobody in his face, he can complete these downfield throws.
Rudock throws it out of bounds.
If you watch Sheriff on the left side of your field, the bull rush has been when I've watched him on film, it's been the bull rush is where he struggles some, and we've seen it a couple times today when these linebackers in Ngakwe is 250 pounds, and he's going straight at Sheriff's chest and pushing him back to the quarterback. I mean, he's losing 70 pounds to Sheriff. You can see the strength by Ngakwe, but that's an area that Sheriff is going to have to improve as he goes to the next level.
Rudock on the 10th play of the drive, and Martin Manley couldn't hang on, wide open in the corner of the end zone.
It's weird the way he tried to snatch the ball. You turn his hands over and snatch it in front. Once you do that, the ball goes out of your eyesight. It travels over your helmet, out of your eyesight. Flip your hands over and grab it in front of your face.
Looking at his trips right, fires this one into the end zone, and it's caught by Hillier. Touchdown, Iowa. 4-yard strike, 2:58 to play.
What a throw by Rudock. That thing is a laser. There is nothing that likely he's going to be able to do with that ball. He throws that one on the rope.
On his 43rd pass attempt of the day, Rudock with his second touchdown. And this time it's good. 11 plays, 75 yards. They only needed 2 minutes to do it. As Rudock rifles one in to Hillier. Marshall Kane.
Yeah, these numbers aren't right. Okay, they put another guy over. But the numbers definitely were not right for Maryland.
The high hop, it goes to 10 yards. And did Iowa get it inbounds? Diggs tried to push it out of bounds, and he couldn't do it. And it's Jacob Hillier who just caught the touchdown pass, flying through the air to grab it before it went out of bounds.
And Diggs just misjudges this ball. And I told you, it's hard to grab it. And you could see Diggs, an outstanding receiver, couldn't even smack it out of bounds. I thought he made the right play. He just missed the football, and then outstanding play by Hillier.
Play was the kick was recovered by the kicking team.
Wow, what a play by Hillier to grab this ball.
Yeah, I think he just whiffed on it. And then Hilliard trying to keep that foot down in play. Boy, that certainly looks like 1 foot down with possession. 11 plays on that last drive for the Maryland defense. Receiver screen to the speedy Powell. Inside the 35 to the 34. Clock continues to move. 16-yard pickup. Spot the ball, and now the clock will start up again. Rudock down the middle. Nice catch by Doozy, reaching behind his head to get it, and he's got a first down. Clock will stop as they move the sticks. Rudock underneath. Doozy gets to the sideline, pushed out by Robinson. Second down coming up. 2:18 to go. Iowa has all 3 timeouts.
Yeah, and that's the key, is the 3 timeouts. If they can get points on this drive, they will then try another onside kick. But if they don't get it, they're still in a position to stop the clock and get the ball back if they can hold Maryland.
Rudock, Powell's got it inside the 50. They'll be about a yard short.
That's a big tackle, really big tackle, because he didn't get a first down. It doesn't stop the clock, keeps it moving. Cujo Berger, the linebacker, makes the stop and keeps the clock moving. So they have to run another play to get their first down to get the clock to stop.
Rudock gets it. He'll hustle to the line.
And they're subbing receivers in and out of the game, and that's tough to do with less than 2 minutes to go because the clock starts running.
Cost them some seconds there. Rudock with time. Catch is made by Doozy. Knocked out of bounds at the 5.
And Rudock realizing how much coverage. There's 8 guys back in the end zone. Just take the underneath throw. As long as your tight end gets out of bounds in this situation, this throw is okay. Now it sets up a 3rd and 2 or 3. Or a 2nd and 3 or 4, and you're fine. You can continue to run this style. You're close. Just make sure that guys get out of bounds if they don't get a first down.
Matt Robinson is the injured player. Let's take a moment and get you back to the studio.
All right, currently in progress, Rutgers and Ohio State plus UCLA and California. Both those games coming up on ABC and ESPN2. Back to you, Beth.
Thank you, Adnan. Iowa threatening to make this thing real interesting here with a minute and a half to go. This has been a team of 4th quarter comebacks late last season and again this year. They sit at 5-1 and are trying to get to 3-0 in the Big Ten. The last 2 times that happened, they won the league and they played in a BCS Bowl. Maryland in their first year in the Big Ten, they've already got a win over Indiana, and this one would be even better. Rudock eyeing Bullock out of the backfield, and that one was almost intercepted by Farron.
Yeah, give Farron a lot of credit on this coverage. Talked early in that first half how these linebackers could not keep up. That time Bullock comes out of the backfield, and it's him and Farron. Farron does a nice job because he realizes he has a safety behind him, so he can shoot on this ball, take a chance at it because he has guys behind. Early in the first half, it was all man-to-man coverage. It was just him and Bullock out there on an island. Now that they've gone more zone, these linebackers have been much better.
Rudock throws that one out of the end zone on his 50th pass attempt of the afternoon, and now it's 4th down.
And I kick a field goal here. You need 2 scores. You're down 10. At some point in time, you're going to need a field goal. I would take one now, get that score out of the way, and then see if I can get another onside kick.
Yep, Ferentz is going to agree with you, Aaron. Get the 3. That's probably the right decision here because you're going to need the points regardless. So Kane will come on. And you'd rather try for the 3 here where it's a much shorter field than if you have to count on a long 3 later. Kane from 24 yards out, and he's got it. So 1:19 to go. Iowa down 7. They have 3 timeouts remaining. Chipping away late in this 4th quarter at the Maryland lead. Well, they've gotten 1 onside recovery. Can they do it twice in a row? They will utilize the same alignment. Kane this time will try and trickle it to himself. It doesn't go far enough, and Maryland recovers anyways.
Yeah, and that play doesn't work. I've seen people try that play a lot. Asking the kicker to kick this ball exactly 10 yards and go get it himself, nobody in front of him. I mean, there was a couple Maryland guys there. I don't know how he would have won that battle anyhow.
P.J. Gallo recovers, so now it's up to the Hawkeye defense to try and stop the Terps. If they can pick up a 1st down, they can close it out. Iowa has the 3 timeouts. Wes Brown puts his head down, gets inside the 40, and Iowa will burn its 1st timeout. 2nd and 8. Out of the pistol. The quarterback, C.J. Brown, will keep it. He's tripped up, and Iowa will force a 3rd down. They'll use a 2nd timeout. But how about the Mountaineers of West Virginia? Trying to knock an unbeaten from the ranks. 3rd and 6 here for Maryland. And Iowa will get the stop. And Iowa will call its final timeout. A punting situation with 1:05 to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that play call a whole lot. I think I want to put the ball in the hands of, I have Wes Brown, my running back, out there. Even if you bring in the jet sweep and let Diggs touch it again, I don't know that C.J. Brown being banged up, going out of the game, coming back, the last 2 plays that are going to define your game, I don't know that I want him running the football in that situation.
Hawkeyes bring some pressure, no flag, as the punt sails through the end zone, 80 yards away for Iowa. So Jake Rudock, who is 16 for 26 with 128 yards already in this 4th quarter, Joey, ready to go back to work.
Yeah, you got 59 seconds. You got these big tight ends, 6'4", 6'5". If you're Rudock, try to find these guys. You've got to get a 1st down every time you get a completion, because it stops the clock and lets you line up again. You're out of timeouts. Realize when you go downfield, you've got to catch it, get down, and hustle your guys back to the line of scrimmage.
Three-man pressure. Maryland will allow the catch underneath. Martin Manley gets out of bounds at the 27-yard line. That cost him 6 seconds. Iowa's out of timeouts.
Yeah, Maryland defense is willing to give up this throw. It doesn't get a 1st down, so it'll take them at least 2 plays to get a 1st down, and that works in Maryland's favor.
Rudock underneath again. Martin Manley, he will not get to the sideline, but he will get the 1st down.
Now, how quickly can you line up? You have receivers that have run downfield, and the more plays you run, you worry about how quickly can they get back to the line of scrimmage and run another play.
Rudock taking his time. That cost him 10 seconds to get that play off. Martin Manley dropped it.
And I think that's a good drop, to be honest with you. I don't know that he was going to get out of bounds. He did not have a 1st down. That drop doesn't hurt you in this situation.
They went from 47 seconds down to 32 without picking up any yardage.
And the more plays you run, you realize your receivers are not getting subbed out. They're running downfield, running back. They start to run out of gas the more plays you run.
Rudock, incomplete for Powell. And now it's 3rd and 10.
22, Damon Powell, incomplete.
And this will give the defensive line for Maryland a chance to catch a break also, this incomplete pass. And they've been very good at getting after Rudock on these 3rd and longs. Looking for Ngakwe, the number 7, the defensive end, who's had success for Sheriff, the All-American tackle, to have a chance to just pin his ears back and go again.
Bullock turned to the inside, and down he goes. It's 4th down.
You can't make that play. If you're Rudock, you understand what's going on. You cannot make that play. In these situations, even if you have to go downfield and risk an interception, you can't take a 5-yard gain.
Rudock, incomplete. There were 2 Hawkeyes in the same spot. And the Terrapins apparently will hold on.
There's 5 seconds left in the game, and you're throwing a 4-yard route. That really wasn't going to accomplish what you wanted to accomplish. They just simply didn't go downfield with this football. They didn't use their size advantage in the secondary and just try to take some shots. You just have to take shots downfield, even if you don't want to, even if it's a bad situation.
C.J. Brown set to take a knee. And the Maryland Terrapins have knocked off Iowa 38-31. Terps to 5-2, and the Hawkeyes drop to 5-2. So long from College Park. Now let's get you to Adnan in the studio.